Reading from chapter 4, titled Transcendental Knowledge, verse 34. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshayanti te jnanam jnanina tattvadarshina tadvidhi paripatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshayanti te jnanam jnanina tattvadarshina. Any Prabhujis or Matajis? Tat vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnana jnanina tattvadarshina. Tat vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnanina tattvadarshina. Jnanina tattvadarshina. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti jnanam jnanina tattvadarshina. Anybody else would like to read? Tatvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshayanti te jnanam jnanina tattvadarshina. Tatvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya
upadekshayanti te jnanam jnanina
tattvadarshina. Anyone else? Word by word meaning. Tat, that knowledge of different sacrifices.
that knowledge of different sacrifices.
Vidhi, try to understand.
Try to understand.
Pranipatena, by approaching a spiritual master. Pariprashnena, by submissive inquiries. Sevaya, by the rendering of service. Upadekshanti, they will initiate. Te, you. Jnanam, into knowledge. Jnanina, the self-realized. Tattva, of the truth.
of the truth.
Darshnina,
Darshina.
seers.
Seers.
Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. Any Prabhuji, Mataji would like to read this page of the purport?
The path of spiritual realization is undoubtedly difficult. The Lord therefore advises us to approach a bona fide spiritual master in the line of disciplic succession from the Lord himself. No one can be a bona fide spiritual master without following this principle of disciplic succession. The Lord is the original spiritual master, and a person in the disciplic succession can convey the message of the Lord as it is to his disciple. No one can be spiritually realized by manufacturing his own process, as is the fashion of the foolish pretenders. The Bhagavatam 6.3.19 says, Dharmam tu saksad bhagavat pranitam. The path of religion is directly initiated by the Lord. Therefore, mental speculation or dry argument cannot help one to the
To the right path.
To the right path.
Anyone else would like to read this page?
Nor by
Go ahead, Mataji.
nor by independent study of books of knowledge can one progress in spiritual life. One has to approach a bona fide spiritual master to receive the knowledge. Such spiritual master should be accepted in full surrender, and one should serve the spiritual master like a menial servant without false prestige. Satisfaction of the self-realized spiritual master is the secret of advancement in spiritual life. Yeah, Mataji, you can continue.
Inquiries and submission constitute the proper combination of spiritual understanding. Unless there is a submission and service, inquiries from the learned spiritual master will not be effective. One must be able to pass the test of the spiritual master, and when he sees the genuine desire of the disciple, he automatically blesses the disciple with the genuine spiritual understanding. In this verse, both blind following and absurd inquiries are condemned. Not only should one hear submissively from the spiritual master, but one must also get a clear understanding from him in submission and service and inquiries. A bona fide spiritual master is by nature very kind toward the disciple. Therefore, when the student is submissive and is always ready to render service, the reciprocation of knowledge and the inquiries become perfect.
Thank you so much. अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुवैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथं वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च. हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते. तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. वाञ्छकल्पतरुश्च सिन्धुवैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमो. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
જય શ્રી કૃષ્ણ. પેલું લેક્ચર ચાલુ થયું છે, બીજા હોય તો જુઓ. ઓકે.
So, thank you so much for joining this Saturday evening Bhagavad Gita discussion in our systematic progression into the different advanced Bhagavad Gita verses. And this is another very, very powerful verse which is spoken by Krishna. And the Supreme Personality of Godhead is explaining so many things. There are two or three key things which can be said from this verse is pariprashnena sevaya tattvadarshina and pariprashnena, which is inquiring submissively. And we have seen that in our lives we have got various different gurus. We had a mathematics guru, we had a physics guru. They have taught these sciences to us. But as you know, Bhagavad Gita is the topmost spiritual science, is the most quoted verse and discussion in the whole world. The Bhagavad Gita verses are so much well constructed because it has come out from the mouth, from the lotus mouth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the reason why there is a lot of enthusiasm and interest in understanding what the Supreme Personality is saying. And Supreme Personality, in the beginning of chapter 4, which we went through a few weeks back, this is one of also the top 108 verses from Bhagavad Gita. There, Krishna is saying, Arjuna, I'm instructing these verses to you now, which has happened 5,000 years ago in the Battle of Kurukshetra. But millions of years ago, I instructed this science, this Bhagavad Gita science, to the sun god, whose name was Vivashwan. And then Vivashwan instructed it to Manu. And Manu instructed it to Ikshaku. And that's how, from that lineage, this science has been, percolating into the hearts of the subsequent lineage in a very systematic way. So it is extremely important to recognize that if we are not seeking this science from a perfect guru who is in the disciplic succession, then we may be inheriting knowledge which may be wrong, which may be incorrect, and which may be incomplete as well. So that's why this verse gives that inherent emphasis that how to seek spiritual knowledge, this spiritual science, which the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Purna Purushottam Krishna, explained to Arjuna, and also millions of years ago, he said it to the sun god, then to Manu, and then to Ikshaku, in a very methodical and very complete way. See, let's try to understand this one thing which happened in Ramayana, and many of this pastime is known by us. So when the golden deer came, and before the golden deer came, Shuparnaka, in the form of a nice, good-looking personality, appeared in front of Lakshman. He wanted to marry Lakshman, and Lakshman, by sheer rage, because she didn't listen and she was really intruding into the personal space of his elder brother, Lord Ram, he cut the nose of Suparnaka. And then Suparnaka went back. And then Ravana came, and then the golden deer came, and then Ravana came. So, and then Sita was kidnapped by Ravana. So this instruction which was taking place, from, Lakshmanji, Suparnaka, this pastime which basically took place in the Treta Yuga, there will be one set of people who do not have the right knowledge will say that, hey, Ravana kidnapped Mother Sita for the right reasons. You know why she kidnapped for the right reasons? Because before that, Lakshman cut the nose of Suparnakha. And you will hear this argument in WhatsApp, university, in various different places. And this is not very common. Actually, I have read this in WhatsApp, and people have substantiated and have sided with Ravana and said the right Ravana did the right thing by kidnapping Mother Sita, because you know what? Before that, Suparnakha, his sister, went through so much of rage from Lakshmanji. And there is a bunch of people who are following on to that person who was, spreading this knowledge in the WhatsApp university. And that is exactly what this verse is all about. This verse categorically says that if at all it is not coming from the lineage and you are not submissively requesting for the knowledge from the right source, whatever you'll get is what basically took place in various different this threads in WhatsApp. That is essentially the reason why whenever we seek for knowledge, we should recognize that is it from the right source, and even if it is from the right source, we have to find out if the source has not been broken by the lineage from Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna instructed this over the period of time to Brahmaji. Brahmaji said it to Narad Muni, and that information has come through the disciplic succession all the way to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 500 years ago, and then from Mahaprabhu all the way to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and through our gurus. That's the reason why this Bhagavad Gita as it is such an important concept. Otherwise, you'll still find a lot of books in the marketplace which are professing the ideas of Bhagavad Gita, which is not correct. So that's the reason why there are two principles of this verse. One is the idea of getting this from the right source and how to seek the knowledge. And here Krishna is saying, in order to approach the spiritual master, to learn the truth, we have to inquire submissively. If we do not inquire submissively, tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya, by approaching the spiritual master submissively, and then only the real truth can be found. And here dharmantu sakshat bhagavad paranita, His Divine Grace is quoting, because the truth is, the dharma is essentially the truth which guides all of us. And as we discussed, dharma is standing on 4 pillars. And dharma is nothing but Bhagavad Pranita. That means there is no difference between dharma and the person who is influencing dharma in the form of the Supreme Lord, who is directly influencing the spreading of the spiritual knowledge. If the dharma is in tatters, if dharma is shaken, then Lord comes, and Lord comes to establish dharma, and that we have discussed in the past. So the first thing we have to recognize that this is through a disciplic knowledge. It is not as if somebody through the deep research finds that Pluto is a planet, and for 30 years Pluto ceased to be the 9th planet, and recently you are hearing that Pluto is back again as a planet in the solar system. But this information, what we're discussing, has survived for millions and millions of years ago. That's the reason why this is absolute truth. It doesn't change. However, some of the empirical rules and knowledge have changed over the period of time. So that's the reason why we have to understand this from a person who has realized it, not someone who has just read it and acquired it. And to To confirm that, Lord Krishna also had a guru, right? Sandipani Muni and his ashram was somewhere near Ujjain, India, and Krishna and Sudama were studying under Sandipani Muni, under the tutelage of Sandipani Muni. So when the Supreme Personality of Godhead at that time has accepted Saint Sandipani as the guru, why are we, the mere mortals, we think that we don't need a guru? And that is very important. For maths, we sought a guru. For physics, we sought a guru because it was giving us the material benefits. We would get a job or something. But when you are trying to understand where we have come from, who are we, and what is the relationship between them, we don't seek a guru. That's the reason why we get into our material attractions, and there is so much of suffering in that. That's the reason why it is very important for everybody to seek a guru, exactly like when 6, 7 years, 10, 20 years ago, you sought some guru for your material thing, which is absolutely right. Likewise, we need to seek guru. Then the question becomes, how do you seek the guru? And in seeking the guru, let's try to understand how does the seeking of the guru is beneficial. So whenever there is, various different places in India, you have a, ripened mango tree. So you go up the tree, right? And then you try to pluck the mango, and there is nowhere anybody. So what you do is you throw the mango down to the grass or the rock which is there on the ground, and you drop 5 mangoes. When you come down, the mangoes are either shattered, broken, dirtied after falling on the thing. So when you take that mango, it has been contaminated because it has been come in contact with so many impurities over the period of time. But think about a situation. If you have handed that mango to somebody, and that somebody has polished it in his shirt, and then he has washed it, and by the time you come down, he is presenting the mango even with a more lustrous, brightened way. Don't you think the mango would taste much better? And that is exactly how Guru helps us. So Guru has been culminating this knowledge. He has been inheriting and disseminating this knowledge over a period of time. That's the reason why it has become polished. It has become nice. That's the reason why some of the commentaries by our acharyas, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Baladev Vidyabhushan, they are even sweeter than the Supreme God. Supreme God has said Bhagavad Gita, 700 verses. But when people have taken Lord's pastimes and have spoken by inheriting their realized intelligence, by expressing after understanding through the realization, and make it into Srimad Bhagavatam by Vasudev, 18,000 verses, it is even more sweeter. So that's the reason why when the Lord's words are understood from a bona fide, from a spiritual master, Lord glories are even amplified more and more. That's the reason why never ever throw a mango from the tree. Let it come through someone, and whenever you take it, it is refreshing. Then once upon a time, Narad Muni went to Swarga Lok, and there he saw, Brahmaji, his father, is in a upper pedestal, and he was given a lower pedestal in Swargalok, in the assembly of all the devatas. And Narad Muni was a bit angry. He said, why am I at a lower pedestal when I see everybody is at a higher pedestal? Brahmaji, who is the father of Narad Muni, said, hey Narad, the reason why you are not given this pedestal is because you do not have a guru. Because everybody else has a guru in that assembly. Not having a guru is considered that you have not got the instruction from the right source in the right method. So Narad Muni got very sad. Narad Muni goes to all the lokas. He's very knowledgeable. He is a great devotee. But he didn't have a guru. So he went straight away. And the dawn, he found a limping person and he requested him to initiate him. He said, no, I am not qualified. I am a fisherman. I am a limping fisherman. I cannot initiate you. He fell down in his feet and requested him to initiate him. And when the fisherman realized that this person is inquiring so submissively, pariprashnena sevaya, is inquiring so submissively, he finally, after a lot of insistence, initiated him. And as he was limping, Narad Muni lifted the fisherman guru in his shoulder and got him to the Swargaloka. And the fisherman was outside the assembly, and Narad Muni said, I have got my guru. And when he got the guru inside the hall, they were very surprised to see a fisherman as the guru of Narad Muni. And when everybody were trying to inquire among themselves as to how did this person arrive, doesn't seems to be clean and he is not qualified, the fisherman turned himself to Swayam Lord Shiva. And when everybody saw Lord Shiva, they accepted and gave Narad Muni a pedestal. So Narad Muni in this context accepted a fisherman as his guru. And accepting someone as your guru exhibits your humility to your spiritual master. More and more we think we can know this, we can understand this. Actually, there is a lot of people who do not understand Bhagavad Gita in the right way. That's the reason why there are politicians who have written Bhagavad Gita. They have taken Krishna's words and they have rewritten it using their own interface, their own conditioning. And that is the reason why seeking a right guru through the lineage is very, 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 very important. Once upon a time, there was one of the prominent disciples of Shankaracharya. At the time, his name was Totaka. He was not very prominent in terms of knowledge. The other three disciples of Shankaracharya, they were very knowledgeable. So whenever Shankaracharya would teach, Totaka would sit at a rear distance, and all the three disciples who consider themselves to be bright, they'd be talking among themselves about Totaka. And once, when the class was about to start, Shankaracharya saw these three disciples and did not see Totaka. And they inquired to these three disciples where Totaka is. And these three disciples, showed a sign that he is in a far-off place. But at a far-off place, when Shankaracharya saw Totaka, he inquired Totaka to come. And immediately Totaka at the time was plucking flowers from the tree. And when he heard Shankaracharya waving his hand to come to him, he immediately came and gave the flowers to Shankaracharya. And Shankaracharya, and at that time, the three other disciples realized the importance of Totaka because he understood the sara, the essence of Shankaracharya. And later Totaka became Totakacharya, one of the very prominent disciples, and he wrote Totakastakam. And so the point here is when you become a disciple, you need to understand the essence of what the Guru is saying, not the entire mundane thing. You should be saragrahi, not bharagrahi. What it is meant is Srila Prabhupada has not met some of his disciples for a long time. Whenever you think about some disciples, Prabhupada will go through Moscow, and in Moscow, or Mauritius, in Moscow, he would meet some disciples just for a few days. In Mauritius, he would meet some of his disciples for few hours in an airport. But they have taken the essence, the sara of the Krishna conscious movement from His Divine Grace in such a way that these disciples have been taken the essence from the from his Guru and understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that they have taken it to a very high level. And if you remember, Russia is one of the prominent Krishna consciousness spreading countries, where the topmost religion which is being spread, the topmost spirituality which is being spread in the world is actually highest in Russia, because that little labhamatra sadhu sangha sarvasiddhi hoy. That means that little interaction from the Guru is enough to transcend people from one platform to a huge platform. And as you can see, some of the top disciples have really done well. And that's where you see there are many disciples, they don't do well because they haven't understood the real essence, the real mood of their gurus. And once upon a time, there is this disciple who was trying to think that he is smart, and with little knowledge he can master. And he also had some Ayurvedic knowledge, and he did not understand the Sara Tattva of his Guru. So once when Guru came, he thought with his external knowledge he was acquired from Ayurveda, he can really serve the Guru nicely. So when he was offering a item which is called Haritaki, what he did was he threw the outside and gave the inside to the Guru. And Guru was very unhappy he said the right way to serve Haritaki is the part which is the outside part, which is eaten for various different reasons. The inside is actually thrown away. And after 7 days, the Guru came and he wanted to put his brain, not really understanding the essence. At the time, he was supposed to serve cardamom. And then he realized, oh, last time I should have served the outside, not inside. So when cardamom came, he served the outside, took out everything through the inside, served the outside. At the time, Guru also said the same thing. You did not understand the essence. Haritaki is supposed to be served from outside, and cardamom is something which has to be served from inside. So the essence of the teachings of scriptures as communicated by Guru is very important. Not through our mundane knowledge, through our bookish knowledge, through our karmic knowledge, we can understand the Supreme. So there are many fake gurus in this world. They will tell you that they can take you. They will cross the ocean. They will promise you as if they can cross you the ocean. But this ocean, if you physically think, is a very huge object. It is very difficult to cross the ocean. But they will say that you can hold my hand and then you can cross the ocean. So it's like somebody who is holding the tail of a dog and you're going into the ocean, but eventually when you're going into the ocean, you're going deep into the ocean. It's not practical to go into the ocean. So it is like if we follow somebody who is not realized, who doesn't have a bona fide lineage, it is very, 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 very difficult to really get the right knowledge. So that's why we have to be very conversant with the fake gurus. And there are plenty of fake gurus in this world who do not have a lineage at all. There is no parampara. And whenever you do not follow parampara, everybody falls down. And all the lineage falls down. And they are also causing a lot of anarthas. So the next thing which is very important, which is written in Chaitanya Charitamrita, this is something which you all should be careful about. Brahmande Brahmite Kono Bhagyavan Jiva Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhaktilata Vich. So according to their karma, all living entities are wandering throughout this universe, entire universe. Some of them are being elevated to the upper planetary system, and some are going down into the lower planetary system by virtue of your karmic activities, actions and reactions. Out of many millions of wandering living entities, one who is very fortunate gets an opportunity to associate with a bona fide spiritual master by the grace of Krishna, by the mercy of both Krishna and spiritual master. Such a person receives the seat of creeper of devotional service. That means by your sheer fortune, you will get a guru. If you are fortunate, you will end up getting your guru. That's the reason why, if you're very, very fortunate, you will get your guru. That's the reason why the guru-sishya relationship, the disciplic succession, the parampara, is so critical in understanding the spiritual knowledge. And Chaitanya Charitamrita 500 years ago, it is written, Brahmande Bhramita Kona Bhagyavan Jiva. Guru Krishna Prasad. By mercy of Krishna, you get a guru, and by mercy of guru, you get Krishna. And once you do that, your loving relationship, the creeper in you, the Bhaktilata creeper, Bhaktilata beach, the creeper in you grows only when you get a bona fide guru. And by Krishna's mercy, we get a guru, and by Guru's mercy, you get Krishna. So, and the way to do that is to inquire submissively. And who are the better personalities than to advise us about inquiring submissively, other than Arjuna and Hanuman? And as Bhagavad Gita is being spoken, Arjuna is there in every step of the way. Arjuna was such a bright person, and even he is confused, and he is seeking help. And look what Lord did. Lord is so merciful, he became his guru. And when everyone was about to fight, think about a cricket match is about to start, and there are bowlers and fielders who are ready. And Krishna is asked by Arjuna, "Hey Partha, take me to the middle of the battlefield." The arrow was about to be shot. At the time, Krishna takes Arjuna to the middle of the battlefield, and the shots were about to be fired. And Vishmadev saw this, and seeing this, they told everybody to stop. Let's see what's going on. And right in the middle of the battlefield, Arjuna was helpless and was seeking information, seeking help. And everybody, the entire Akshaya Yonis, the entire fighters in all the sides, they were watching. And in front of all of that, in the right in the middle of the battlefield, Bhagavad Gita was spoken. And what was Arjuna trying to do? He was essentially seeking the right information from the right source. And what did Krishna do? He just became his driver. And he told him Bhagavad Gita through his causeless mercy. So, and this verse is such a profound verse. It can really make and break our spiritual life. So, without much wasting time, I want to really end here by saying, Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevada. Seek submissively and approach your spiritual master. Inquire submissively. And once you do that to a bona fide spiritual master, the spiritual knowledge will be revealed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the Guru. So with that, I'd like to end here. I'd like to open up for some questions. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.